Weapons is a couple of weeks away. I mean, we're pretty much almost there, and it's been a movie we've been talking about for a long time. Ever since it got announced, we've been discussing it on the channel. We've been breaking down the interviews, we've been breaking down the trailers, the clips, and everything. Today, we're breaking down a clip, and I am super pumped for this movie. I cannot wait. I'll be watching it next week, and I will be bringing you all of my thoughts and everything else that comes with it. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Our goal is 50,000 by the summer. We're 8,000 away or so from that. So definitely something we're trying to get to by the end of August. But let's talk about this new Weapons teaser clip that we got from Complex, and I definitely want to break it down for you right here. So let's get into it. So if you don't know, Weapons is the latest film from Zach Cregger, who did the film Barbarian a couple of years ago, which I thought was brilliant. This film stars Garner, Josh Brolin. You also have Alden Ehrenreich, Abrams, Benedict Wong. This movie says one night, all but one child from Justine Gandy's classroom mysteriously ran off into the night. Justine and the rest of the community are left questioning who or what is behind the children's disappearance. Justine is played by Garner. You have Josh Brolin, who plays the father of Matthew, one of the missing children here. Alden Ehrenreich plays a police officer who has a complicated relationship with Justine. Abrams plays a drug addict and burglar, and Benedict Wong plays Marcus, the school principal. What we got today is a little clip that showcases the back and forth between Archer Graff, played by Josh Brolin, and Garner, who is playing Justine Gandy. So of course the teacher is sort of put to blame for everything that has happened. We've seen that in the trailer, we've seen that in the synopsis and some of the interviews that they've had for the film. In this newest clip we get a confrontation between them at a gas station, in which the father, Archer, is just saying like, you are the problem, you're the reason this happened, and you're not telling us something. And Justine is just over it at this point. She is pretty much saying, you and the town already made up your mind, there's nothing else I can say. Even if I lied and say I'm the problem, Yasta wouldn't buy it. And he's like, well, you are the problem, basically. What we see then is that from the distance, we see Benedict Wong's Marcus running at full speed towards them in the bloody, crazy look that we've seen Benedict Wong have in some of the other teasers and trailers that we got him before. And of course, I'm just like, this is nightmare inducing. But Justine is trying to sort of get the attention of Archer. He's not buying until she eventually is attacked by Marcus, put on the floor, and is being choked now. He helps her and she's able to roll under the car and try to get to safety, and he's able to get Archer off of him, and Marcus is going full speed to Justine in this clip into the gas station as he is just doing the run that the kids are doing. So we're safe to assume here now that Marcus is under whatever the kids are as well, and being used as a pawn against Justine by whoever is responsible for the kids going missing. I've said it before and I'll say it again, there's potentially going to be spoilers down below, so be careful because people are spoiling things that happen in Weapons, and I don't want to spoil you or tell you that's not happening because I don't want you to get spoiled. So just be aware that spoilers are floating around about what potentially is happening in Weapons. But I really love these teasers and this marketing it's been having. It even had a small marketing on Fortnite over the weekend, and I tried to get into it and see what was going on. All that I could find was cans of soup. So cans of soups are very important here in the film Weapons, and I discussed it in the marketing that came out a couple of weeks ago, where they had like a 20-minute video where people were being fed soup and they were like under a spell of sorts and they weren't moving in the catatonic state. So it's safe to assume that probably the kids are just in a catatonic state somewhere. And throughout the trailer, we see that there is this allure to a house where there's something happening deep within the darkness that we just can't see just yet. And that's possibly who took the kids as well. So very, very curious about what you think about this new clip. I think it really showcases the absurdity horror that Zach Cregger is playing here with. The epicness that this film is going to bring is a story that is told through multiple different people. And I think that's going to make it very interesting by the end of it. So when it comes to Weapons, what we're going to be seeing is multiple storylines being told of what exactly happened to these children. Of course, we do know that one child in particular did not disappear, and that's the big question. Why not this child? Why 17? And why were they from the same classroom? This teacher seems to not know what happened. So of course, we're going to get the perspective of Garner, who seems to be the main character in the story. Also Josh Brolin, who is one of the concerned parents, who is very outspoken and is showcased throughout the trailer a lot. What I thought was so interesting with Weapons in its marketing is that it decides to showcase to us that not just the kids are acting funny, but also the adults, in particular Marcus, who is a character that we saw at the beginning in the first trailer be showcased as just a normal principal, trying to keep everybody at ease and trying to just make sense of what happened. But in the second trailer, they showcase that Marcus is going to take a full 180 and turn into some violent individual that seems to be under the same spell or sort of workings that the kids are as well. So what makes all of these people run in this particular manner? We still don't know, but there are spoilers out there, like I said. So if you don't want the spoilers, make sure that you tiptoe through those comments and don't really read as much, because people are going to be spoiling it, especially as we get closer to the movie now. So some of the first reactions are in, and I talked about it in another video. They're calling it a masterpiece. They're saying it's one of the best horror movies that has come out in recent time. Full reviews are out now by the time I'm recording this, and I do see that it continues. The glowing response is still there. One of the best horror movies that we're going to get in 2025. Others are noting that they're not too fond of the third act, and others are saying that the third act was amazing and intense, which is something that we've been hearing, that there is a very intense sequence at the end of the film, and I'm very curious to see how that's going to be. But Zach Cregger, I believe, is definitely here to showcase yet another classic. There is a reason there was a huge bidding war for this movie, and there is a reason that it continues to be one of the most anticipated films of the year. So I'll be checking this movie out next week, and I cannot wait to bring you my thoughts and my opinions, as well as just discuss if we were right in our theories in what we thought this movie was going to be, or if we were very, very mistaken and it was something else completely. So stay tuned for that video next week, but let me know what you thought about this new clip that they showcased for the movie. What are your initial reactions to it? I think that the way that Zach Cregger is showcasing this very disturbing imagery in broad daylight is so interesting as well, because for the most part Barbarian did have a lot of scenes that were in the dark, but there was a lot of scenes where it was like full on sunshine and everything. One in particular was a chase scene that I thought was one of the scariest things I saw all year. So now to see that this movie is going to take suburbia as well as daylight and these very interesting turns that feel so absurd and so weird, it's just so exciting because it feels fresh, honestly. And this has been such a great year for horror, and I'm excited to see yet another horror film coming out this summer. So cannot wait. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 50,000 subscribers. We got some more weapons videos coming up. There was a tie-in to Fortnite, which was interesting, like I said, and I was trying to showcase as much of that as I can. There were some other levels I didn't get to play, and maybe I'll do a whole video, or maybe I'll put it up in a short, so stay tuned for that. But let me know, are you excited for Weapons? Are you watching it opening weekend, or are you waiting to hear what more people say and how it performs before you decide to do so? It's a great year for horror. It's a great year for horror, and I'm excited to talk more about it with y'all. So make sure you keep following, make sure you subscribe. I'll see all of you next time. Stay safe, stay positive, y'all.